Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahshua, Ba'ashim, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who well and teach all us our doctrine. Peace and blessings to the elect. I've been going in there reading and going over Joel the third chapter, quite a bit, recently, like this week and last week. I get that the quote unquote week has just started according to the system or whatever, but anyway, getting straight into it. This is Joel 3:3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Now, when you go back into and look at the history, we were basically being traded for like whiskey, musket guns, and sugar, because you have to remember that Hamites were it was Hamites that were catching us, man. If I'm not mistaken, it was Hamites that were capturing us and basically, giving us to Esau, and then of course, they would most likely get something in return, which would probably be those whiskey and whatnot. And then of course Ishmael, which are these so-called Arabs, supplied the ships because they had already done something like this before. When you even when you go into history and you even research it. But also when it talks about giving a boyfriend harlot, can be applied to any male, because they used to do something wicked known as book breaking, which was basically actually let me get add it up. I want a straight definition. I was on this site, but I didn't get to really read through it. All right, here it is. The process involving the slave owner forcing the enslaved man to lower his pants and bend over a tree stump and ensure that his buttocks were propped up into the air. The enslaved man would then be flogged severely. Now, I'm not really sure what the word flog means. Lash, whips, beat. Oh, the word flogging. It's like it. So the word slugging means beat. But also, they used to. But also, yeah, the homosexual slave owners, because Jake used to get sodomized as well, man. But Salaki, I was mistaken. I thought book breaking was to sodomize, but nonetheless, Jake used to get sodomized a lot. But the book breaking, they would they basically beating you into submission, and they're making an example out of you, so that the rest of the quote unquote slaves can look at this and say, oh, if they do what you do, or if they do something that's out of line, this is what's gonna happen to them. And they did numerous things, like these people today, they're morons, because when you look back, like Black Friday, that something that these people go crazy for. Oh, you go shopping Black Friday, you're celebrating Black Friday, this, that, and the third. Not saying that there ain't nothing wrong with them taking advantage of a deal, because ultimately, if they're lowering because ultimately it's normal to want to get a deal if a store lowers the price. I'm not gonna stand here and lie and say I don't take advantage of discounts. There's nothing wrong with taking advantage of discounts, but the way these people act and whatnot, and then they don't want. Oh, it's called Black Friday. The average person would go. You would think the average person would go, oh, why is it called Black Friday? And I know a lot of them know, because listen, there's a Google search engine. You can't mean to tell me that this thing is really difficult to find out. And I've come across people that have posted it, people I know in the world, and I'm like, yeah, but I know exactly what's gonna happen, because whenever I post stuff on social media, for example Snapchat, those people get sick of me because I was posting stuff up like Black Friday, basically everything, and they were really getting sick of it. In fact, one person starts talking to me, but I don't really care. It is what it is. These we have to expect these things. They only come with the territory. But anyway, yay! And what have ye to do with me? Oh, Tyree and Zidon and in fact, Slovakia. I have one precept I want to get to before I jump back. It's in Obadiah, because if we're speaking about the book breaking and everything that happened to Jake, in terms of their captivity, of course the Lord put us in the hand of our enemy as a punishment, but they took it to a level that far past that what they should have. For example, if they listen, there is no excuse. There is no excuse for sodomy, man. It's just wicked. There's no excuse that Esau can make it. The main thing that it would do is, it was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. Okay, we learn about things that are in the school system that are still a long time ago, and we see how they affect the world we live in today. So how is it so crazy to believe that things happened, for example, maybe a couple of centuries ago or maybe more, have an impact on us today? Oh, it's Brother Wakar. I'm gonna watch this afterwards. Okay, here it is. Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And they have not just committed wickedness against Jake, because what I was saying was predominantly the southern kingdom, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that was on the west coast, and different parts of the lands of Ham. But they also did wickedness against the northern kingdom, because Christopher Columbus and them, I believe, I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. I believe it was the Spaniards. I believe they called the conquistadors, but I'm not sure if the conquistadors. So if I'm wrong with that, just a brother correct me in the comment section. Iron sharpened iron, as they say. And they went over there, and they slew, our Latin brothers, and they were doing all kinds of wickedness and whatnot to them, and they'll even make it seem this is the thing that this is the thing about this guy. He won't admit to his wickedness. He will go, oh, we had to do this, we were helping them, culture them, we were doing this, we were doing that. But bro, the natives were showing these guys how to eat. These guys weren't really cultured, man. And before you say, oh, how do you know Columbus, he went to he encountered Israelites. Okay, why, if he didn't know where he was going and he didn't encounter Israelites, why was there Hebrew interpreters on his boat? And you can Google this, Luis de Torres. For any of you who may be new to the videos, Google Luis de Torres. In fact, I'll Google it for you. Luis de Torres.
According to Wikipedia, Luis de Torres was Christopher Columbus's interpreter on his first voyage to America.
And I believe this guy was a Jake, man. But yeah, Luis de Torres, he was a Hebrew interpreter that was, on the that was basically on the ship with Columbus. But anyway, jumping back to shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Because it also says in Isaiah, also refers, I believe, Isaiah the 1st chapter, Isaiah the 14th chapter, because this guy has literally turned countries into third world countries, committed wickedness against all these different places, that everyone's basically angry at this guy, man. he even got his own people that angry at this guy who want him out of power because they're seeing when you look around, you know, there ain't no happiness, and you know the earth is being run down. Listen, when you read about the kingdom, and when you imagine how it was like, what it was like in the ancient world, because they actually try and make us to believe, oh, we made our GMOs made the food better, you know, we made this better, we did this, we did that, you know, the animals used to be smaller. No, cause I remember you know, my first teacher, you know, a family friend or a close family member, don't even know what to put him under. He was actually breaking this down to me. You would have had them the horses, they would have been bigger back in the ancient world because the fruit, like everything was much stronger because the earth wasn't poisoned, it was still in its youth. But if you have like pollution, things poisoning the soil, you know, you have different things like that going on. How can you have the creatures eating it end up stronger than the creatures back in a time when everything was still good? It doesn't add up. Yeah, like I just mentioned Isaiah. Let me see if I can find the section I was talking about. If not, I'll just jump back to Joel and then close it out. Uh, Slack, bear with me. You know, like it says here, was the pride of Esau is deceiving. Isaiah 14 and 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. You know, the stars of the Most High, you know, are the Israelites. I will exalt my throne above the stars, you know, of the Most High. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend to the height of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Esau has a God complex because, you know, he wants to, you know, be immortal. He wants to be the Most High. He wants to do all these different things. He wants his kingdom to continue forever. He wants to do all these things, but he wants to do it through his technology. But that isn't gonna happen because we know, according to prophecy, right when they believe they're at the point where they're about to fill their belly and they're at the point where they're licking their lips and whatnot, they feel like they're satisfied, then the Lord is gonna drop the hammer and is gonna be like, no, 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 no. This is not the way the story is supposed to go. You know, right? That's why the scripture says when he's about to fill his belly, you know, then he's gonna get caught. Because can you imagine, like, for example, you on a game show and whatnot, like, or maybe that's a bad example. You imagine doing something like a set of tasks, and but after all the tasks that you do, you get the reward of your dreams. So you're doing these tasks, you're doing these tasks, you're doing these tasks, and you're almost complete, right? But right before you're about to, you know, you're able to complete your task, then, you know, something happens and everything stops, and then you don't get the reward no more. That's, you know, to put into perspective, Esau is gonna have a feel like that, but it's gonna be much worse because they're gonna be like, they felt like they were completely close to keeping us in gross darkness, to keeping us at a lower state, to, you know, to make us commit wickedness against each other, to make us do all these different things. But According to prophecy, the Lord reserved a remnant, which is the elect. That was that wasn't gonna that was basically gonna arise out of sleep, despite what the rest of these people may be doing. The elect is gonna do what they're supposed to do. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit, because in the kingdom, like, these elites that are on high, they're going to be brought down so low that people really gonna look at these guys and they're gonna be like, are these really the guys that used to cause all these problems, used to quote unquote run the world, as you would say? That they used to drop their nuclear bombs on countries. These are the people. It's gonna be like we're gonna be telling horror stories to our, to our children, because they're gonna be like, they ain't gonna be able to believe this. And the further and further you get into the kingdom, the more it's gonna seem like a joke, because it's gonna be so unrealistic when we tell these stories. For example, a ladyboy, for example, when you tell kids that these guys, that they used to make this thing illegal, which was a man becoming a woman. So when you check it out, they in their mind, wait, they may ask a question like, so what, was there no women in this civilization? No, there was women. So why did he become a woman? It's the more and more, the the more that we get into the kingdom, the more it's gonna seem humorous, and the less it's gonna make sense to people that we tell the story to. Because obviously we know that all Israel is gonna come in the kingdom, but it's gonna start with the elect. Uh, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? And like I said, they had their nuclear, their war bombs, and they had all those different things where they could really make could really make a country like feel threatened by sending their fire jets, their tanks, or whatnot, that made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art but thou art cast out of the grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of a pit, as carcass trodden on the feet. And carcass, what I usually think of carcass as dead flesh, but carcass is usually it could be usually just flesh anyway, of an animal or even a human. Let me just jump down to 21. Prepares Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for for iniquity of their fathers. So everything that's going on, for all the wickedness that they're committing, all the wickedness they committed in the past, and that they're continuing to commit now, there's going to be a judgment for that. And it says it in the scriptures. Doesn't the scripture say that I think, can't remember where it says it, but the sins of the father will be visited on the heads of the children in the third and fourth generation, that they did not rise nor possess the land nor fill the world with cities. In fact, let me just jump back to Joel. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? And of course, this is where we were at. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. So I think another way to say remove them far from their border is another way to say is another way. Salaki is like saying that you've taken them out of their habitation or where they're dwelling at. So this is like Grecian, if I'm not mistaken, that's referring to Esau. But of course, we know Esau, what he does best, and be a culture vulture. He invades a land and basically tries to take over that nationality. Listen, he even did it to us. He's doing it to us right now. That's how you have Amalek trying to pose as us. But they can't beat us because they don't got no salt. And of course you can have Jake, mingled amongst there, because Jake was amongst all nations, but for the most part, that's Amalek. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them. I will return your recompense upon your own head, because just like it says in Deuteronomy, the 20th chapter, we would be sold, unto our enemies. And right here it says, we've been sold, and we've been removed far from our border. So you can apply that, to what I just said. We were ultimately taken, from where we were dwelling at, far to these other places on ships, packed like sardines, because like when you have sardines in a tin, they're very, very compressed and they close together. That's how that's like how we got packed up in there. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them. I will return your recompense upon your own heads. And that's another way of saying, I'm going to take them out of the place that you've sold them. And, I'm going to repay you for what you did. So that's payback, or, judgment or revenge, if I'm not mistaken. Or retribution. Yeah. Maybe retribution might be a better word. Maybe I'm not using that correctly, but I believe retribution and revenge are interchangeable. And basically, when you go down from the when you go down from the 10th chapter, and it's like the 10th verse especially, this is referring to war, when it goes into beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spear. That's basically talking about these what you would put your money, or what you would be doing, like agriculture, harvesting food, doing, or generally doing what you do. You have to now turn your attention and turn all your resources into military might, and basically everything to do with war. But Lord willing, I'll get into that next time. But I'm probably gonna close it out here, because I felt like I got the point. I hope this was edifying, and in closing I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Bashim Kakadash. Until next time, Shalom.